Ever wonder what being the strongest is like? It's the age-old question we geeks ask every day. Like, who is stronger between Hulk and Thor? Or is Superman really DC's strongest hero? Is Goku the strongest in the universe? Or is it Frieza now? Well, in the case of Saitama from One Punch Man and Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, the question of the strongest was answered since their very first introductions, setting both heroes as the peak of each other's verses, as well as the literal standard of power within them. But out of these two strongest, who will actually win? Will it be the overwhelming strength of the K-Baldi or the immeasurable might of Gojo's infinity? That is what we in the Fictional Matrix will be answering today. Okay, so let's go first into what makes Gojo Satoru such a formidable monster in the Jujutsu Kaisen world. In terms of strength, most tend to scale Jujutsu Kaisen high tiers to island levels of power based on Dagan's creation of an island, though this argument has always fall flat for me, because they use the statement of domains being a reflection of one's own strength. If that were the case, wouldn't Gojo upscale to literally infinite 3D power based on the fact that his domain is an infinite void? Which would be a level of power that is highly inconsistent with the feats and lore presented in the story. While it is true that the amount of curse energy does have a huge advantage in battle, and more often than not indicates who is stronger than the other, like in the case of Sukuna and Yuta, I think it's pretty obvious why I won't be using the domains as a scaling for strength, as they are more so hacks. So, what kind of feats does Jujutsu Kaisen have to offer? Gojo is someone who easily outscales people like Yogo, who created a meteor that was calculated to yield town levels of destructive capacity. This town level destructive capacity is surpassed by pretty much every single of the special great sorcerers, and people above them like Sukuna and Gojo. For example, there is the famous Yuki Sukuma black hole feat, which was stated to possibly being able to destroy the world. And Yuki being someone far below Gojo, it is in the realm of possibility to put him in such levels of power. The only problem with this is such a feat is purely based on speculation, and we have nothing close to planet level in said feat or the rest of Jujutsu Kaisen. It is still a possibility to scale Gojo to this, but such a feat was done through a sort of special and particular set of rules. Now there is one possible feat for Gojo where he was capable of shaking the Japanese trench after escaping his imprisonment, which can be calculated anywhere from small to large country levels of power, putting him comfortably on those country levels of energy. Now in terms of speed, we have feats like Toji Fushiguro reacting and evading Nue's lightning. We also have characters like Hakari and Sukuna who react to attacks from Kashimo, which are indeed lightning level, with Sukuna even dodging point-blank radio waves, giving Sukuna and Gojo, by extension, because we know they were both relatives, with Gojo possibly being faster than Sukuna, giving them relativistic levels of reaction speed. Now, as impressive as this all sounds, it really doesn't hold a candle to what Saitama can casually do. Saitama is a guy capable of countering a planet-destroying beam with one of his serious punches, later surpassing this type of power by leaps and bounds when battling Cosmic Fear Garo, at first surviving a Gamma Ray Burst attack, with Gamma Ray Burst being considered the strongest explosions in the natural universe, which would put Saitama's durability at solar system levels at a base standard, and there is even more. After this, Garo was capable of copying Saitama's power, which is when they both performed the famous Sirius Punch Squared, which annihilated several star systems, putting their initial collision anywhere from multi-solar system all the way to multi-galaxy levels of power. And Saitama got even stronger throughout this fight, though it isn't known if he actually kept the power increase he got in Jupiter. In the case of speed, Saitama has been shown to upscale characters like Flashy Flash, who are confirmed faster than light, and characters like Monster Garo and Platinum Sperm, who while fighting created a light construct calculated to be at the very low end 4 times the speed of light, which is then shattered by Saitama's own light construct, which has been calculated to a whopping 22,000 times the speed of light. All of this would put Saitama in a tier of power far beyond anything Jujutsu Kaisen could even possibly imagine, making it so that nothing in Gojo's arsenal, be it blue, red or purple, is significant enough to even be useful in this fight, as anything that is thrown against Saitama would literally be moving in slow motion for him. Even if we grant Gojo the planetary scaling from his hypothetical black hole, Saitama would still be billions if not trillions of times stronger than Gojo. And I know many of you might be thinking, but what about Gojo's infinity and his domain expansion? Well, for his infinity, while it slows everything that he perceives as a threat infinitely, keyword on perceives, because with such an immense speed gap, Gojo would not be able to perceive Saitama flicking him to the afterlife. And even if Gojo could magically perceive Saitama, Saitama could literally sneeze at Gojo, throwing currents of air powerful enough to blow away most of Jupiter, meaning one sneeze is all it would take for Saitama to send Gojo to the afterlife. Now as for the domain expansion, this is possibly Gojo's only win con, which even though ignoring the insane speed gap, given Saitama's nature and in-character Saitama would fall for it, if Gojo used it right from the beginning. But even in this scenario, Saitama could potentially even counter this by either accident or not, as he could still speed bliss Gojo out of the domain before any significant damage from the infinite void is done. So there is a possibility where Gojo can actually defeat Saitama, but in the grand scheme of things, in almost every scenario Saitama would come out on top, with almost no difficulty. The winner of this battle is Saitama. Hope you'll enjoy today's video. Please like and subscribe to the Fictional Matrix, and see you all next time on the Fictional Matrix. God bless you.